Hi, John Sartin here with the Rio Grande Jewelry Tech team. I'm also one of the instructors for Bonny Doon tooling. In this video, I'm going to show you the Bonny Doon bender and ring forming kit. I'm going to show you how to install it on the press, how I use it, and what I like most about this kit. Let's get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at what's in the kit. So the kit consists of a urethane container with 95 durometer urethane, column block, a pin, and 7 ring sleeves. Now these ring sleeves do not correspond to any specific ring size, but we'll talk more about that here in a bit. Before I show you how to use this, I want to talk about why I like this kit so much. This kit, in conjunction with the press, has all the power that you would want to form any thickness of material that you would ever want to make a ring out of, well beyond that. So with this press, I've bent 0 gauge material without a problem. So the power is great, but what I like most about it is the precision, and also this way of forming is not going to damage my material as would a hammer around a mandrel. So it's really great whenever you're doing textures, or if you engrave in the flat and then you want to turn it into a ring. You know, engraving in flat is a heck of a lot easier than engraving on the round. If you do overlays, all of those things can actually be difficult to form with a hammer and a mallet. With this is going to form it very easily. So like I say, I created this texture. If I was to anneal this, it would cause a lot of problems. Number one, there would be fire scale. And number two, even after forming this into a ring, it still wouldn't be work hardened to my liking for a wearable product. So this is actually going to be formed. It's not going to be a completely closed band because there's going to be a center setting that I will weld in with a welder instead of soldering in. So it's going to save me a lot of time and a lot of cleanup. That is really the thing that I like about this way of forming the most. So now let's go ahead and talk about how this is assembled on the press. Okay, so before you install this on your press, you need to read the instructions. These instructions do come in the box, and read these instructions. They're very detailed instructions. They tell you exactly what to do, as well as all of the safety precautions that you should follow. Now, the first thing I do is I will mount the column block on the press. And you're going to mount this. There are 3 holes in your top platen. I'm mounting it in the center hole. All right? The center hole is going to actually center this tool in your press. And you always want to work in the center of your press. You never want to work off to the right or to the left, to the front, to the back. You always want to work in the center. One reason is safety, which is a big reason. The other reason is the center of the press is where all of your power is at. As you start to go out from the center, your power decreases. The main thing, though, is for safety. So always work in the center of your press. So I mount the block in the center. I'm not going to tighten it up all the way because I want to move it a little bit. And now I'm going to install the pin. Now the pin attaches magnetically to the column block. The next thing you're going to do is take your urethane container and pop your urethane out of it. This might take a little bit of doing, whoops, especially after you use it a couple of times, but it will come out. And you're going to notice that there are notches in the urethane container. Now, these notches will actually align with the pin. So you really want to align this. It's stated in the instructions, and whenever you do align this, you want to mount it so it doesn't move whenever you're working with it. Now, the main thing about aligning it is if it's off, number one, it's not going to allow your urethane to form correctly around your piece. The other thing is if you're off a little bit, this pin will crash into your urethane container and damage it. So the way that I do this, in the instructions, they use double stick tape, which you certainly can. I found out that I ran out of double stick tape, and I tried using plasticine clay. Plasticine clay is pretty sticky, and so I found that plasticine clay works pretty good for this. And it's a little bit easier to get off of your tooling than the adhesives of double stick tape. So you want to align this so it's going to be easy working for you. So you don't want to be stretching or twisting some weird way trying to see what you're doing. So align it where it's ergonomically correct for you. And then I will lock the column block down, and I'm going to raise my bottom platen. And I'm going to give it a squish. Now, I don't know if you saw, but that plasticine clay squished out the sides, and that thing is now there until I decide to take it off. Next thing you do is you pop your urethane in, and I'm just going to give it another squish, and that's going to seat my urethane. And now you're ready to start forming. Okay, so like I mentioned in the beginning of this, the ring sleeves that come in this kit, they are not a specific size. So what you'll want to do is you will want to use a ring sleeve that is actually slightly smaller than the size of the ring that you are making. And that has really everything to do with spring back. So if you try to use one that is about the same size or larger, it's not going to form to your liking. So one that's slightly smaller than the inside diameter of your finished ring. And it slips onto your post, and then it attaches back to your column assembly. Now you're going to align your piece as accurately as you possibly can with the center of your ring sleeve. And make sure, like I say, you need to be aligned both center-wise of it and also square with it. If you start off just a little bit in one direction or the other, your ring is going to spin on you. It's going to form a spiral. So you want to make sure that you actually start in the center of the ring sleeve and square with the sides of the ring sleeve. You can actually just kind of eyeball it. And we're going to start pressing. And you're going to want to use about 1/3 of your urethane. That is really all you need. So about 1/3 of the depth of your urethane. You really never want to bottom out. Now keep the ring against your ring sleeve. This is going to help you in aligning it throughout the rest of the forming. So I'm going to keep that up against it. You can feel it kind of lock in. And I'm going to continue this. Okay, so now the ring is formed. All I need to do now is weld my setting into place, set my stone, give it a final buff and clean up, and it's ready to be sold. The ring forming kit can also be used with the split die kit, which allows you to make anti-clastic rings. It's used with the synclastic ring forming kit. And it also is good with the small master forming kit. You can use all of the tooling that comes into that kit with the ring former. And that's how I use the Bonny Doon bender and ring forming kit. I hope you found this information helpful, and if you have any questions, give us a call.